Hey everybody, welcome to my weekly messages. I'm Delayla Starr. Today the topic is coming bank holidays, what you need to know. There is a write-up on this and I encourage you to go read it because it's going to be probably easier to follow than what I'm going to say because I'm trying to piece all these pieces together for you so you understand what's happening. Right now it appears that we are going to be having a bank holiday, but it can be anywhere from 3 days to a week to several weeks. And the circumstances around it can be either positive or they can be devastating for people here in the United States. So I wanted to alert you with this about this so that you will know about it and know what you can do. First of all, we need to avoid a negative bank holiday. So we're going to call it a positive bank holiday and a negative bank holiday. As many of you know, there are two factions on this planet that are fighting it to the death. And depending on who's going to win, we're going to end up in a new timeline with a reset financial system that is very positive towards humanity. We'll be freed from financial indebtedness. Our mortgages will be forgiven. Debts will be forgiven. We'll basically almost like zero out and start all over again. The country that will be responsible for this is Iraq because they'll be revaluing their currency. And many countries have bought that currency and then will turn it in, and that will relieve them of their debts. Spain, Greece, all of them will be basically reset, and they'll be restored to healthy economies. Part of the reason why this is going to happen is because the IMF, International Monetary Fund, has changed the policy on what determines the value of a nation's currency. We are going from fiat-based, which is fake currency, to asset-based. And because Iraq has now been found to have some of the richest oil deposits in the world, that would equal Saudi Arabia. And also they have gold, they have natural resources, natural gas, and other things. They will become one of the wealthiest. So their currency will be one of the most valuable in the world. So anybody who has bought it at its devalued rate right now, which is basically 10 cents on the dollar, if you bought billions of that and you cash it in, you're going to have multiple billions. So many countries have bought billions of Iraqi dinar while it's been devalued. And they're about to revalue. They're just waiting for the IMF to give them the approval. So that will help to reset the economy. There are the two factions. Let's tell you who they are if you don't already know. You have the White Dragons, which are the portion of the global elite bloodlines who have decided this is not in their best favor it's not in their favor to enslave humanity. They realize their longevity will be cut short if they do, that they have better chances of freeing humanity. And then there are the global elite members that still believe that it's best to enslave humanity, chip them and link them to a master computer called the Beast. And we will see a good portion of the population wiped out because they will go through and depopulate the world down to, I think, like 1 million people, maybe less. Anyway, that's not a very good scenario. So, and each one of those represents a timeline. We're working to build a timeline where humanity is free, because that also allows us to fulfill our divine purpose. If we can come out from under what seems to be overwhelming obstacles and challenges to free ourselves, then we have shown that we are prepared to enter the galactic community and help other worlds do the same. So that makes us the peacekeepers of the galaxy. We know how to create peace, which is our divine purpose. Now, moving back to where we were. The coming bank holiday can be called by either side. What I want you to know is that it will happen. The White Dragons will need it to restructure the banks and take out the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is owned by bankers, and these are the major banks in the United States. And some, I think, well, we're not going to go there. Anyway, they're going to have to restructure the banks, which means taking out these key players and putting their own people in there and abolishing the Federal Reserve. That will take a few days to a week, and that'll be it. The other side, the powers that be, we'll call them the U.S. powers that be, which is a small group of people from the Bush Rockefeller bloodlines and a few others, along with, okay, they said don't go there. They are trying to keep the old regime in place and the old system in place because that will support them. Well, they are also, they see that they are losing. They are losing right now. The White Dragons are winning and they are losing, but they are not going to go down without one last battle. So what they're going to do is they're going to take that coming restructuring and say that that is because of an attack by Iran, and they're going to say that Iran has attacked the banks and has caused all kinds of problems, and they're going to have to close. Well, if they end up being able to pull that off, that bank holiday will take weeks to months, because their purpose is to use the media to get us to believe that it was Iran's fault to get us into a war with Iran. Now, why do they want to do that? Because if Iran succeeds in standing firm against the United States and continues to sell oil for other things than U.S. dollars, then that will mean other Middle Eastern countries will also stand up. And before you know it, the U.S. dollar will be worthless. And at that point, because these dollars, which are Federal Reserve notes, are from the Federal Reserve Bank, which this PTB owns, the PTB will go down in flames, nothing left. So they need a war with Iran to try to stop Iran and to send a message to the rest of the Middle East that they're not going to tolerate these Middle Eastern countries doing what they don't want them to do, which is sell oil for anything other than U.S. dollars. So the other thing that will happen is not only will we find ourselves embroiled in a war that we don't want, we will find martial law, because they will scare the bejeebers out of the U.S. people. They will use the media to tell you that, you know, this is a huge economic crisis, it's going to go on, we don't know when we can open the banks. They're going to set up FEMA camps. They're going to whip up so much terror within the United States people that people will make a run on the banks, which of course will be a need for martial law. And of course, they'll make a run on all the major stores, the Walmarts and everything else, because you know what happens when people get afraid? They immediately go and try to get food and survival things. So they're going to hype this to be more than it is. That's going to create a long-term issue. They're going to start setting up FEMA camps. Anybody who resists any new policies that they bring about, and there will be many, will be sent to detainment centers. They will disappear, and eventually the FEMA camps will be used to kill off people. So they're going to achieve their final goal, which is depopulation and the enslavement of the United States people and the world, eventually get around to the world at large, if they win. What can you do? First of all, be aware Iran is not the enemy. Iran is actually, in a way, helping us, because they are the guy who stands up and says, I will not take this anymore. They are like the people who started the Occupy movement. They were willing to put themselves out there and stand firm against the bully. So they are actually helping us. So don't believe what media tells you. Do not believe, Syria and Turkey and what's going on there. That is all being coerced. They're being coerced into this battle by the United States and Israel. Israel has always done some of the dirty work for the United States, which it's the Mossad in Israel, not all the Israeli people. But it's going to be blamed on all the Israeli people. You understand that? That's not fair. So this is what we're involved in. So be aware who the real bully is. It is not Iran, it's the United States. And get that information out there. I've given you a link in the written version to a video, which, yeah, the guy's a little bit, oh, this is doom and gloom. But the message is very good. And then there's others you can go and research. The second thing is be prepared for the bank holiday. Go take enough money out of the bank for a month to get you by, to get whatever you need. Stock up on certain items. food supplies, things like that. Get a couple of big 5-gallon containers of gas and have those stored. Because anything that you would normally use your ATM or your bank for, you're going to need to be paying for in cash. Pay up your bills in advance if you can. If you not, have money on hand to go buy money orders. The utilities will still work. There'll still be gas, there'll still be electricity, there'll still be water. None of that's going to be affected. It's just anything to do with your, with basically electronic, with the banks. So, and then set aside, if you can, some for your neighbors and for your friends who may not have been informed. And just try your best to keep everybody calm. Let your neighbors know. Get to know them now. Start to work together so that this thing is done and quickly over with and we move on. Okay? Because if the powers that be, the one thing that can stop them from succeeding is us. If we get the message out there that they're going to try to do a bank holiday, and they start to hype it on the media that it's this and it's Iran, to tell people that it's not for real, it's actually the White Dragons restructuring, and it will only be for a short period of time, then we're all going to get through this okay. So we have to do our part now. This is what we came here for. We got to get on the horn. We got to call. We got to Facebook. We got to send that message out to people that if it happens, it's only a minor thing and it's simple restructuring, and do not believe the hype. Okay, that's it for today, and I'll talk to you next week.